Forget about Cinderella. Gonzaga once again has proven they are legit.
Here in the pod, we aim to be a unifying presence, so as a show of said unity to ensure the Bulldogs know they're not alone in the world, we've decided to switch up how we do things. Moving forward, we have a new resolution for our episodes. From now on, we're only going to show up after the first 10 minutes. This is Free Hour Brown.
Sit! Fire! Shut! Bonus down the lane! Shot clock turned off. Cavalry. Hall. 8 to shoot. Hall. The runner. Loose.
Hello, one. Hello, all. Welcome to Free Hour Brown, the Gonzaga Hoops podcast. Those stories plus Graham E.K. Good, Herb Sendek Bald, and sometimes it's the little things which hurt most. But first, seeing which one of us is paying attention, I'm Chris.
A lot has been done, but I was.
Oh, you got me.
Got him.
You did it.
Got him, ladies and
I love
gentlemen.
it. I'm not paying. I'm on autopilot. I'm always on autopilot. Let's go. Okay, you want your drop or what? You want my drop? What do you want to
That's
do?
why I said it.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't follow that at all.
Well, north of Los Angeles, it's Marty.
Listen to it. It's so bad.
They're rich.
How could anyone listen to that?
And in the City of Angels, say hi to Adam.
A lot has been done, but I wasn't really doing very much. I wasn't paying attention most of the time.
That couldn't be more perfect given the way we introed that.
Amazing. Serendipitous.
All right, Marty, explain your drop.
This is an inside joke here. I was texting these fellas and Doug about how could anyone listen to Pentatonics? They're just terrible. I was in a colleague of mine's room for like 5 minutes this morning, and she had that song, Bohemian Rhapsody by Pentatonics, playing, and I wanted to rip my ears off my head. I couldn't stand it. The part when the guy is trying to imitate a guitar. Oh my God. It's the worst. The worst. Rachel sometimes listens to Pentatonics at Christmas time, and I can't stand it ever. I never heard anything as bad as the Bohemian Rhapsody crap that I heard this morning. So I decided to text you guys about it. And then
It was a very random text.
And then he's like, and now he's going to share it with our tremendous audience that we.
I wanted
that we
someone to
enjoy.
agree with me about how bad that little.
I mean, it's
that
bad.
little-
That's
That's pretty
probably
bad.
the worst I've
That's
heard.
not
of
good.
that.
It's so annoying. It doesn't even
Yeah.
sound like.
No, I'm not a fan of theirs. I don't
just
mind. Like I said, if they're doing something that's actually arranged for voice or classical Christmas tune, things like that. But anytime you're just like covering
They're trying
a
to make
rock
them
and roll
sound
song,
like.
forget it.
They're trying to make them sound like guitar.
Pop songs, maybe.
Guitars.
But
Yeah.
yeah, if
No.
you're trying to sound like a
Stop.
yeah, you're not a guitar.
It's
So
terrible.
if you don't know who Pentatonics is, they're an a cappella group.
Everyone knows who Pentatonics. Or they've
Do
heard
they?
them. I had heard them, and I couldn't remember the name, and I had to look it up. But I've definitely heard them. Everyone's heard them.
I don't
Heard-
mind them during Christmas. I like their Christmas stuff well enough. That's
Oof.
fine. Like the Christmas carols
no,
are fine.
No.
Okay. Anyway.
Christmas carols are perfectly fine. But yeah,
Anyway.
that was pretty bad.
Yeah,
that was
they're
pretty
bad and they should feel
Wanna,
bad.
wanna, wanna, now.
All right, Chris Brown. We on this show we rely on
No.
the support of our fabulous Patreon patrons.
Fabulous patrons.
You can go support us at patreon.com/freehourbrown. Please do so. And on this here show, when people do go out there and contribute, we've actually had a real run of contributors lately. Like we're on a roll this
That's
season.
great.
Thank
That's
you
awesome.
very
We love you
much,
guys.
everyone. But
This
we have
one is
someone else.
is an old and new one.
Yeah.
It's an old friend,
A
David
repeat
Jenny.
offender.
Has
Jenny.
been around for a long time. He signed up for the tier, which allows him to have us read a message out. And instead of the totally real nonsense things, which I usually read out, I will pass this one on quite literally word for word. Quote, I didn't submit a comment, but if I did, it would have said something along the lines of, me being the king of crazy not crazy, unquote. And it turns out he actually is the king
He
of
is
crazy not
legit
crazy.
the king of crazy.
No,
not crazy.
you'd have to be a real long-time listener to know what he's talking about.
You would. You really
Yeah.
And a
would.
It's a
real
deep
loyal listener. It's a real deep pull. But
He had.
should we-
I don't even remember. Do you remember what it was? It was about.
yeah, I remember.
It
Exactly.
was a Jock
no.
Landale one, right?
It was a Jock Landale points under
Yes.
poll. I don't know what the number was, but he said Gonzaga's. This is when Jock Landale was going to win the Player of the Year. He did win the Player of the Year, but it was the second time he played them. I think they had already beaten us, and it was the second time he played them. And Jenny pulls this number out of his ass. He's like, Gonzaga's going to hold Landale to under like 8 points or something like that.
It was some absurdly
some
low. We all thought he was
stupid number.
crazy.
Something ridiculously crazy.
We thought
We
he was
couldn't
so
hit
crazy.
the crazy buttons fast enough and with more
gusto.
ferocity.
Enthusiasm. Yeah.
But lo and behold, he nailed it.
You nailed it.
They totally shut Landale down, and they beat St. Mary's easily. We could probably find the
Which-
game.
I'm sure. we
Probably
could.
some point. But frankly, Jenny, I appreciate and applaud that level of nonchalant snark. So we'll go with that. Thank you, David. Again, patreon.com/freeirabrown if you would like to help us keep the lights on, or if you just pretend to like us enough to want us to keep doing this. So for now, let's go to the news.
I report the news. That's what I do. And today's top story read something like this.
In the polls, GU's down to 9th in both major ones, jumped by Vanderbilt and Nebraska.
We didn't lose.
Lenardi still has GU as a 2 in the West, so everything's holding firm there. Lauren Whitaker wins WCC Freshman of the Week for her seventh time in 9 weeks. EK won WCC Player of the Week. Congrats to those two. A tip of the cap to Mike Tomlin, who's stepping down as the Steelers head coach after 19 years and, this is cool, not a single losing season. It's absolutely nuts to think that the Pittsburgh Steelers have had exactly 3 coaches since 1969.
Whoa.
That's crazy, right? It's not even real, but it is
5
real.
years the Giants have had 3 coaches.
Notable results from college basketball. BYU survived a scare from crappy Utah. Bama lost to Texas, barf. Auburn upset Arkansas. Illinois beat Iowa in a battle of top 19 teams. Kansas crushed number 2 Iowa State on Tuesday night. And number 1 Michigan goes down to Wisconsin at home. Badgers were 15 of 33 from deep, 12 of 15 from the line in the second half. So that's all you got to do to beat Michigan. Just hit 15 threes. Finally, I sent the NFL a personal letter on Sunday. I asked them nicely if they could put the Seahawks divisional round game on Saturday night so that I could watch it from my cousin's house in Boston while simultaneously making it harder for San Francisco to recover and prep for the game. And the league responded.
Oh, yeah?
They said sure.
Thanks, bud.
Thanks, NFL.
That'll be good. I was taking my son to the urgent care today, and randomly the urgent care is in a mall here. What are you going to do? It's like literally in a mall. Like you walk
Where else
past,
is it going to be?
you walk past like lids and go into the urgent care store. Anyway,
Help, I spent money on hats.
so, because the urgent care is there, when I take the
like
boys
looking at
to
bats.
immediate care, I get them a milkshake in the food court or whatever. And my son was wearing his rave green Seahawks hoodie, and these guys were like, "Go Hawks! We got it!" I'm like, "You guys sure?" And they're like, "Yeah, no problem. Go Hawks!" These guys were confident, Mark. So thank you for that confidence.
Seattle folks down in L.A. besides you?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. They could have been LA folks that just like the Seahawks, because why not?
I don't know about that.
That seems unlikely.
I don't know about that.
Only one game on the schedule this week to talk about. A rare time for the team to relax, catch their breath, and smack around Santa Clara a little bit eventually at some point. 89-77 win over the Broncos in the McCarthy Athletic Center. Let's just jump right into the format. Mard, give me your headline, your one takeaway, your main squeeze for the weekend.
Okay, so my headline is, can we play a full 40 minutes, please?
Please, pretty please.
So they had a big lull in the first half of this Santa Clara game, as we all know. They had a terrible start to the LMU game. Horrid 30 minutes. I'm not going to call it a start because it was 30 minutes. A horrid 30 minutes against Seattle. And then the defense didn't show up at all against USD, gave up 93 points. That's 4 straight games where they haven't played a full 40 or even a mostly full of 40. So I'm getting a little bit restless, but it's okay. You don't have to peak in January, right? You just have to peak.
I'm curious, is that a
In March.
lull, L-U-L-L, or lull?
It's I'm not laughing out loud, so it's a lull.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not lolling. They're lolling, gagging.
L-U-L-L?
Yes, there you go.
Lull.
Yes,
Lull.
there's a lull at times. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, they go into a few lulls from time to time.
What do you have a feel for why you think that is? The dregs of the Ides of January?
Yes, no students.
That's
By the
part
way,
of it,
can
but
we
you
stop
can't-
having 3 straight home games to start the conference
That was
with no
our,
students?
I
What's
mean,
that
I guess
about?
the conference put us
Sucks,
through
right?
that, but that is a
That's
bummer.
that's a little bit of
But
bleep you
it's-
from the concert from the
I guess, but man,
It's kind of a lame excuse to keep using the fan, like not having the students. If they're so dependent on their students, that's kind of
well, I
not
think
a good sign.
I mean, they're not dependent on the students if we're playing Creighton or like a I bet if St. Mary's was there, they'd still be playing pretty hard. But to get up for like San Diego, like I don't know, it's a lot easier if the students are there yelling and stuff.
And there's the fact that it's the last year in the conference, and every team's going to get so up for GU. Blah 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 blah. Like we do go through this.
We
for
really
20
do
years.
get everybody's best shot. Like
Yeah,
that's just
it's so trite to say. It's I feel terrible saying that, but it is true.
I don't know why you feel terrible saying it. I think it's a little.
Yeah,
But it's
I
like
mean,
you
it's-
say it all the time, and it's like it's worn out. Saying that is worn out, but it's true.
Yeah, it's the truth. So is good. Okay, my headline is delayed gratification. You're just like waiting. Okay, when they gonna turn it on? When you turn it on? Oh, there it is. And then good things happen with this team. It's just a matter of how long is it gonna take? Anyway, that's my headline. Chris Brown, you look very confused and you're not talking.
I found the game.
Well, hold on. Something's
Jenny.
up with Chris. Chris, is something up?
No, he's blinking.
no, I was completely cut out, and I didn't hear any of you,
Oh.
anything that you said. So I heard
And
my
I wasn't-
headlight is
I wasn't listening
all I
because
heard.
I was finding the St. Mary's game that we shut down Jock Landau. You guys want to know? It happened in 2018, and it was we definitely lost to them on January 18th, 74-71 at home, and then we went to their place and beat them 78-65, and we held Jock Landau to 4 points.
4 points. That's
And
certainly not very many.
He wasn't even in foul trouble. He only had 2 fouls. He did get 10 rebounds, so good job, Jock.
Good job, Jack.
And guess what that little wiener Emmett Narr scored?
hold on.
Yeah.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Can I guess? Is it 0?
No, he scored 5.
Oh, he outscored Landau.
One
That
of
is not
4
a
from
good sign,
3,
Jock.
that Emmett Narr. He turned down like 6 open threes though. 'Cause he's always
He's such a little bitch.
he's always too afraid to shoot him.
He's
a
such
little
a little
bitch.
bitch.
Yeah. I am not a
Sorry,
bitch.
Adam. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and do your headline again. I don't know
we
if
got
I was
way
the only
off
one
the
who got
rails there.
who got cut out or if everyone else did too. So go ahead and let's just do it again real quick.
All right, my my headline is delayed gratification. This team seems to like to, I don't know, plateau, if you will, and maybe wait around for a while before actually taking care of business. It's just a
They
matter of
play with
how
your food?
long they're gonna wait to take care of business. It's like too much foreplay. Let's just get to taking them down. Let's go.
So is it playing with their food or is it a tantric bulldog?
I don't know. I don't know.
Depends on the game.
I think it depends on the
Also,
game.
are we upset that they took so long to bury Santa Clara? Because Santa Clara
Not
is pretty
really.
good.
No,
Santa Clara's better than I
Santa
thought
Clara's
they would.
fine. Mostly, I'm talking about LMU game where they just like slept walked through the first 10 minutes of that game.
If you have there's an unfair, maybe, probably stigma about West Coast Conference basketball, but if you believe in West Coast Conference basketball, Santa Clara is one of the best teams in the country. They're 50th in KenPom, 51.
51 or
Or
52.
60?
Yeah, they're very good.
They're like in the top. They're like
They're
in the top
52 in net.
6th. Like the top 6th of the country. That's pretty. I mean, that's a good team. So
Yeah.
and then we're all like picking all these nits that they're in a tight game in the second half. Why can't we play a full 40? And I'm doing it too. But sometimes you got to step back and be like, okay, they just took care of business. They whipped them in the second half, and that's a pretty good team. They just kicked their butt.
They did kick Santa Clara's butt.
I'll do my headline, and it'll piggyback a little bit on Mard's. I think probably more than Adam's, but we're kind of like Forrest Gump after eating Mexican food. We sure do like runs. Sometimes we like to get rolling downhill real well. So Santa Clara, for example, 13-13 left in the second half. Alan Graves had a steal and a dunk to make it a 53-51 game. That was that was the possession after EK hit that step back three, because sure, why not?
That was bananas. Okay.
In the
was
next
awesome.
7 minutes, in the next 7 minutes and 29 seconds, we went on a 27-6 run, which incorporated a 17-0 run in the middle of that, punctuated by Miller's steal and feed to Innocente for a dunk. That was it. Game over.
Game over.
I know it ended up being a 12-point game, and the number they Santa Clara ended up with like 1.05 points per possession. They outscored us like whatever 9-0 at the end of the game or whatever. Yeah, I don't care about that. Other times though, we're getting sniped like we're in GoldenEye, giving up kill shots, or Call of Duty. That's what the kids play, right? They play Call of Duty now.
Au contraire. I had a student tell me yesterday that he played GoldenEye with his dad this last weekend.
Hilarious.
Grader.
That's
Nice.
brilliant. Okay, so
It was
we're back.
amazing.
What is old is new again.
There is hope for the
Santa-
youth after all.
Santa Clara had an 11-0 run in the later stages of the first half, latter stages, of the first half to go up 8. We ended up, of course, going on an 8-0 run to finish the half, finishing at the 37-37, sorry. LMU had a 10-0 run early in the game to go up 10-2. Seattle had a 14-0 run in the first half against us. And while not quite a kill shot, USD had separate 0 run in the first half, a 13-2 run in the second half, and finished on an 11-1 run to make the game close-ish. I'm not a real big fan of some of these runs that we're giving up.
No.
And it's, it's fine to like occasionally get one, or Santa Clara as a good three-point shooting team, even though they didn't actually shoot the three all that well at all, can go on an 11-0 run when you rebound well and you shoot the three well. Okay, fair enough. But when you've had kind of 4 games in a row, kind of Marty, to piggyback on your point, we're not playing 40 minutes. We're not playing 35 minutes. We're mostly not even playing 30 minutes, really, it feels like, for a lot of these games. And when you're giving up this sort of spurt to teams, when you're supposed to be the team that's really good at getting these kill shots, and we still are, but we've given up more than I would like. And it's not concerning yet, but it is enough to kind of give me the headline from the weekend, because it's now been 4 straight games where we've kind of seen this.
Are
I
they
need to go back
defensive
for
lapses
USD.
or offensive lapses?
Defensive. I think it's defensive. Look,
I think it's both.
well, I mean,
'Cause
so in
when
this Santa
we get
Clara
in these-
game, from 33 minutes, 33-47 into the game to the end of the game, we gave up 20 points. 20 points.
Which game is that, Adam?
That's the Santa Clara game.
Okay.
20 points in like 8 minutes.
Well, I've seen it. I've seen both. Defensive lapses that
Yeah.
lead to these 10-point runs. And
Well, when you're talking
times
about
where
kill
we-
shots, it has to be both, because you're not getting points and you're giving up points. So, like, in that regard, like,
well, it could be a 10 over like 6 minutes, which that's not really
sure,
bad
but that means
defense.
your
That's not
offense
really
isn't
bad.
scoring anything.
right, but that's not really bad defense. It doesn't have to be both
Sure,
every time.
but so the point is to have, when you have this many, it's both. So against Santa Clara, of course, in the first half, it was turnovers, right? A gazillion turnovers, a gazillion fouls, blah, blah, and we're not getting points, and we're giving up second chance points, and I'm sure we'll get into this a little bit when we get into zagging up and gailing downs. But for me, it's A, turnovers leading to runouts, which happened a bit in the Santa Clara game, and B, when we stopped turning the ball over in the last, 5 minutes of the first half or something, when Santa Clara went on that 11-0 run, magically we went on an 8-0 run, and suddenly we were back in the game.
Yeah.
And it's not hard to pin it together. When you stop turning the ball over, our offense is still pretty damn efficient, especially with Huff and EK. And if, God forbid, for the other team, if anybody's hitting a 3. And B, if you're struggling on defense, or you're over fouling and you're giving up free throws, you're going to get on some of these little spurts that are going to hurt you. And it's a little more frustrating than I would like it to feel, I
Indeed.
guess. Mard, give me a zagging up.
Shout out to Manny Innocente.
Yeah, buddy.
So he broke out after a really, really brutal stretch of games for him. Like since the Maryland game when he hit 5 threes, and that was November 25th.
Yeah.
He's gone 10 games, scoring 3 points per game, shooting 2 of 16 from deep. He had 3 scoreless games where he didn't score anything. But then against Santa Clara, 13 points, 4 for 4 from the field. And he actually made free throws. I mean, not a lot. He was 4 for 7. He wasn't good from the line.
Hey, it's a
But-
lot compared to what he made before.
I think he was 0 for 3 for this season.
That's correct.
Before, and all of a sudden, she shoots 7. Anyway, so he has offensive rating of 147, broke a 5-game stretch where he hadn't been over 100 once. So he had just been on a brutal stretch. It was really nice to see him have a nice positive game, contribute offensively.
And not only do that, but do it on the back of A, coming off the flu, and B, getting 2 fouls in like 5 minutes or less than that, and 3 fouls in the first 12 minutes. He didn't even
Hold
start
on.
the second half because he was in foul trouble.
I'll reveal my idiocy, or I'll own one here. When that happened, I texted you. Remember what I texted you guys when he got a second foul with like 18 minutes to go?
No.
I was like, Innocente's going to the bench. Man, we're gonna miss his offense.
That was mean.
And
He was great.
he did go to the bench, so I was right about the first part. He
Right.
did go to the bench, but then he had the 13
and it turns out we did miss his offense.
yeah, he was
So
good.
you're right on both
He was
ends.
good in this game.
yeah.
Really good to see him with
Yeah.
a breakout game. Fantastic stuff.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Adam?
I mean, I know he's already like pretty far up there zagging up, but you have to talk about Graham EK's game.
Sure do.
Yeah, 34 points, 11 rebounds, huge double-double, incredibly efficient, 12 of 16 from the line, and that aforementioned step-back three-pointer. What?
Oh yeah.
After I was on the show last week saying like, I don't want him shooting any threes, and then he, I mean, he
No,
only
no,
did that
it was
'cause the end of
Chris
the
who
I
said
think
shot
I
that.
heard. I think
It
I
was
heard him
Chris who
yell,
said that.
"Shut up!" No, I think I heard him yell, "Shut up, Adam!" when he
Suck it,
took
Adam
it.
said-
I'm
said,
pretty sure.
I think Adam said he's allowed to shoot one.
I did say he's allowed to shoot one. That was my ultimate.
That was
thing.
hilarious. That 3 was, the level of difficulty of that 3 was pretty high. He had another step back that wasn't a 3, that was like a 19-footer, or
Yeah,
like just
and he
in front.
drained
Like
that
the
one, too.
Shot clock was winding down, and he hit that one too.
2
EK was
turnovers,
so
1
good.
block, 1 steal, only 2 fouls. Graham EK, only 2
And,
fouls.
4 offensive rebounds. He's not our best offensive rebounder, but in this game he got 4.
Yeah, he was absolutely a terror in this game, and they had nothing for
Sure
him.
was.
Nothing for him. So he zagged up, even though he was already pretty zagged up before.
I'll go kind of a low bar, but I'm going to go with Mario, if only because he hit a layup and he hit 2.
Man, Mario.
He finished with 6 points, a board, and 4 assists, a pair of steals in 21 minutes. So I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself. And, his 3-point shooting, we probably don't need to talk about. But he very clearly was struggling a bit for a few games, whether it was the flu or confidence or both. And this was not a very good Braden Smith game. Maybe we'll talk about that later. But Mario came in and the offense flowed much smoother with him in it. He looked just, not a ton more, like, let's be honest, not a ton more confident, but he looked just a bit more confident enough that I didn't feel crummy about him doing anything. He had a positive plus minus, which is a good sign, whereas Braden didn't. So Braden was at a net 0. So for Mario, given kind of what the games were before, I'll go with Mario and give him a zagging up.
I'll add to that. He had his assist to turnover ratio was 4-1 on a night where Santa Clara was turning us over a lot, especially in that first
That's a good
half.
point.
He was not turning the ball over. It's just so weird how he can't finish.
It is
his
bizarre.
drives, and because he was known for that in the ACB, like he's a good finisher. He's good, and he not yet at Gonzaga, but it's so weird. He'll get in there and create these good looks, and then not make them, and then he finally hit 2 in this game. But
Yeah, he's been really frustrating. I mean, I can't imagine how much frustrating it is for him because he's
Sure.
He's got a great spin move. He had one where he just had a great Euro step through, just fantastic footwork, and then just blew the lane. I mean, it just happens a lot, and I'm hoping it's just we're going through a phase, and his hair is going to grow out, and he's going to be better.
Maybe the hair dye got all
Yeah.
in his brain.
Maybe.
Mard, give us a galing down.
the rebounding in the first half will be a galing down. So 9 offensive boards for Santa Clara in the first half is 43%, which is terrible.
A lot.
And we let that freshman fella, Graves, who's, if he sticks at Santa Clara, is going to be a problem. He's a good looking player, and he's a kind of a maniac freshman on the rebound on the boards. He
Sure.
leads their
He
team in
kinda
offensive
kicked our
rebounding
ass.
percentage. He got 5 for his. We supposed to have the 12th ranked defensive rebounding team in the country, but it didn't show up.
In the first half.
Yeah, they figured it out, but man, it was frustrating watching them get all those rebounds. And we're like, we're supposed to be really good at cleaning up the glass, but we're not doing it.
It is interesting that by the end of it, it was 13 to 10 offensive rebounds. Fair enough from them, but we out-rebounded them total, 35-31, and had 14 to 13 in second chance points, which was you could not have gotten me to bet on at halftime based on the numbers there.
Yeah.
Adam, give me a Galing down.
Galing down, efficiency on transition buckets. In this game, Gonzaga only scored 1 point per possession on transition buckets, which is like 6th percentile, like 7th percentile in the country for average.
Is that good?
It's bad. It's really bad.
Oh.
It means you would expect on the season, I think they're averaging more like 1.65 points per possessions on transition buckets. So this was a pretty bad one. And it jives with the eye test, which I just saw some missed layups. Like, let's finish some of these things. And the aforementioned Emmanuel Inocente, transition bucket, where he's passing the ball too early. And Steel Ventures running into trouble. So
that was offline. Let's explain that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that was
before
offline.
Recording. Inocente had a steal, had a 3-on-1 break, was leading the break in the middle, and for some reason, like before he even hit half court, passed it off to Steel Ventures on the right wing, and we're like, dude, Ventures had just hit like 2 threes, and was gonna clearly going to spot up on the right wing in a transition 3 on a 3-on-1 break. And you give it to the guy who doesn't dribble ever to lead the fast break from the wing? It was just a bizarre decision.
It really was.
That.
But just emblematic of the transition game just didn't look sharp in this game. So that's my Galing down. And it's borne out by the numbers here.
I'll do one that is sort of like Marty in that it was more specific to the first half, but I'm going to go game rhythm. First half, 19 total turnovers, 21 total fouls between the two teams. Hey, refs, if you're calling more than a foul a minute, it's not on them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Figure it out a little bit here. That was a fairly painful first half to watch. Santa Clara didn't really figure it out in the second half. We did by the last couple minutes of the first half, and in the second half, thus. If you count what Santa Clara did after that 11-0 run when they went up 37-29, Gonzaga was on a 61-40 run to finish the game, which, that's sort of a little bit loosey-goosey with numbers, but all of a sudden you're down 11 and you win by 12. So that's a pretty decent. But yeah, that was a really tough watch in the first half. And when you consider the things that got called and then you go to the second half, and there's one time specifically, and I'm pretty sure it was it Huff or Ike? Now I can't remember. It was one of those two went up for what ended up being a layup attempt and just got whacked on the elbow. Just very clearly on the replay, got whacked on the elbow and ended up either shot got blocked or they missed or whatever, and it got tipped out. And you're just looking at it going, all the ticky-tack stuff you called in the first half, and then now this. And it's just there seemed to be no amount of rhythm that the game could get going. And yeah.
Tough
It
one.
was brutal. But props to Gonzaga for figuring it out in the second half. What was it like? At one point, Gonzaga was turning it over on 33% of their possession. I think it was literally a third of the possessions.
Bad. Yeah.
Woo. First half ended up 28.5%, something like that. But some bad decision making, lazy pass steal. I almost strangled him. He had two of those lazy passes from the wing to the top
from him,
just really bad.
Lord.
But yeah, figured it out in the first half, and the second half, 3 turnovers total. Although Santa Clara somehow scored 6 points off all 3. But yeah, much better. The numbers evened out, 21-18 in points off turnovers for Gonzaga, 50-34 points in the paint, et cetera, et cetera. But the game rhythm was a hard one to get into.
Yeah,
so
we got to limit the points off turnovers. We got to get that to more like 10 instead of 15, 18, 20 over the last few games. That
wasn't great.
That's a big reason I think why some of these WCC teams are making it closer than we would like.
So I don't really want to belabor this game too much.
No.
But it was interesting to me watching it live, and my memory of watching the game a couple days later now was, we just sort of blew them out in the second half and ran away with it, which I feel like we kind of did. But then looking at the numbers, and I'm just this game feels very blah. It didn't necessarily feel blah watching it because there was frustration in the first half with the turnovers and the fouls and everything. And the second half was just such a one-sided play up until the last 4 minutes. I think Santa Clara finished on an 8-0 run or a 9-1 run or something like that. But just garbage time stuff that I don't really care about, which only affects some of our metrics, I suppose. But I don't know. Did this game feel blah to you guys in retrospect? Did it feel a little more animated watching? Am I overthinking it? Like,
I think
what
it
was your
depends
impression
on
of this?
on what your watching environment is. Are you into the game? Are you watching at a restaurant? Are you entertaining Luca and Jake while you watch? Are you watching with sound? Are you watching without sound? It has a lot that depends on how you watch it.
Yeah.
If I'm watching
this was an 8 o'clock start, so my kids were in bed.
if I'm watching a game and I'm distracted, then the game's gonna kind of feel blah. Like if I'm watching a game that's without sound and I'm paying attention to my wife or whatever, then it's gonna feel.
Paying attention to his wife? Who does
I pay
that?
so much attention to my wife. You kidding me? that's going to be blah. But if I'm into the game, focus on it, then it's not going to be blah. Makes sense?
I guess I just felt like afterward. Like I remember thinking during the game, like, oh, this was this, and then it was really intense, and then it was a blowout, and like Gonzaga just sort of, flexed muscle a little bit, and then afterward, looking at the numbers, I was like, there is nothing remarkable about this game other than
Except
like,
Graham
some of the
Ike
first
had
half.
one of
Yeah,
one
I
off
guess
his.
that's
This
true.
was his Gonzaga
one off the
career
career high.
high.
Yeah, Gonzaga high, one off the
His career high. But man, he was incredible in this
monstrous.
game. It's like if you get this
And
version,
every
this
good
is
version of
like
monstrous.
Graham Ike earlier in the season where he was just like unstoppable. And if he's gonna hit jump shots like that, fade away like turning around and hitting jump shots with that left hand, he's gonna score. He could score 30 a game going forward. He won't.
Maybe that's all it was.
The question.
Yeah.
How far will Gonzaga go this year if Graham Ike averages 34 points a game the rest of the way?
Oh, Final
will they win the
Four.
national championship?
Very far.
Final
Four. If he's averaging 34 a game, Final
Final
Four from
Four.
here on.
You're not comfortable saying they'll make the final or win the whole thing if he is
He
averaging
gets to the
34.
Final Four, weird shit happens. But like, even if he gets 34 a game, but
We're a
if
lock.
he's averaging
We're a
34
lock
a
for the
game,
Final
I think
Four.
if he
he's-
scores 30 a game, because Braden's still going to get
34.
his. Oh, 34.
I said 34.
All right, we're making the title.
Pisanio.
We're making the title game if he's scoring 34 points a game.
There we go.
34 points is a lot of points.
that's a lot of points.
If he scores 34 for the rest of the year, he's first team All American.
Oh, for sure.
Well, yeah,
He's-
he's going to lead the country in scoring if he does that.
And let those WCC effers say no to Player of the Year then.
They'll still find a way.
They'll still find
Oh,
a way.
but
Give it to
Mar-
Mikey Lewis.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be Mickey Lewis. I think it's going to be Paulius Morauskas.
Yeah, Paulos Morauskas probably. He's got it. He's
we
gonna.
are recording on Tuesday, and I just saw the score as I'm looking, and I forgot there's a minute left in the game. St. Mary's in Santa Clara, or excuse me, in San Francisco.
And
It's not a close game. It's we don't want to talk about it.
Uh,
Although they're immediately doing a close up Morauskas, he's winning the player there. Any other thoughts from this game before we move on to the Gonzaga women getting a much needed win?
no, I don't think so.
Nah.
The Gonzaga women got a much needed win.
You got to put it up if you're Kaylin. Oh! Across the halfway line, and that three-pointer makes Allie Turner the all-time single-season record holder. And one.
The women played one game like the men, except it was against Portland, not Santa Clara.
Weird.
Portland in third place, and it started off rough for the women. They were down 6 at half. They were down 13-6 after the first. Can anyone guess why they were struggling? I'll give you one guess.
Can I
why
guess?
were the
Can I guess?
women
Can I guess?
struggling?
Can I guess?
Can I guess?
Can I guess? Can I guess?
Okay, Christy,
Yeah,
go ahead.
give
Was
it.
it-
Go. Let's see.
Let's say,
was
wait,
it-
let's
was
say
it-
it at the same time. One,
Well,
two,
apples.
three. Turnovers.
Oh, it
Apple
was
turnovers.
Apple turnovers.
Oh, yeah.
They ate too many
They had
apple
too many
turnovers and
apple
were
turnovers.
sick
Ah, right,
to their
okay.
stomach.
Yeah. Okay.
It was turnovers. You were right. They came into the game averaging 18 or 19 a game. They turned it over 23 times in this game. 23
Good
times. It's
grief.
good grief.
How is that possible?
I don't know. They only
Like,
had,
Allie Turner's really, really, really good.
well, she turns it over a lot. They only had 13 assists. They had 23 turnovers. That's not a good ratio, folks. Not a good ratio. Taylor Smith saved him in the assist to turnover ratio. She had a nice game with 5 assists and only 1 turnover. Everyone else was just like, "Here, take it. I don't want the ball. This is like hot potato. I don't want that. You take it. I don't care." Give Alice. It was crazy. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 women had 3 turnovers or more. Anyway, they had an explosion in shooting in the third quarter. They scored 34 points, which is probably their most they scored in a quarter in several years. But they coasted in the fourth quarter. They won 69-55. Lauren Whitaker had a double-double. She won Freshman of the Week again. She had 16
Are we naming the
points.
award after her? Didn't we
No,
decide
20
to do that after Suggs?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think we named it the
Oh,
Jalen
yeah,
Suggs
well,
Freshman of the
and
Week.
then
I think
after
we're
the-
doing that
and
for
then-
Lauren Whitaker.
We did it for Chet, too, the next year. But she had 22 points, 10 rebounds. Allie had 10 points and, a modest 10 points, but 2 of 4 from beyond the arc, so she didn't get a lot of looks, but she did hit 2 of 4. They're looking for that third scorer, and it seems to be someone different. It's not someone consistent, which is a bummer. This time it was Z Akuso, who scored 12 and was efficient, 12 points on only 7 shots. So they take the game from Portland. They are 68th in the net, which doesn't make that big a difference or big a deal because they got to win the league.
Yeah,
they got to win the
absolutely.
tournament
Yeah,
to get in.
they're all or nothing.
They are all or nothing. They have 2 games coming up against USF and USD, 2 very different teams. So USF, they hung with Santa Clara, who's one of the tops in the league, in a close game. So this should be a tough game for GU. They're 3-2, 10-6 on the season. They're led by this Italian guard from Naples. She's a 6-foot guard. Her name is Candy Idokpibe, which is
Stop it.
Not stop it. Idokpibe is how I heard it pronounced. Edokpibe, which is it's a pretty neat name.
Candy.
Candy Edokpibe.
Oh.
The from the Italian for candy.
Yeah, is that what Naples means?
No.
I don't speak.
Go on.
No.
I don't speak. I thought you were saying the Italian word for candy.
No, I was making her name was Candy. It was just that's all.
What is the Italian word for candy? I
It's
thought I was missing something. She's got 16 points, 5 rebounds a game. So she's going to be tough. The team, the Dons are not a good 3-point shooting team. They're terrible, in fact. And they are even worse than Gonzaga at ball security. They turn it over 20 times a game. Gonzaga's 280th
Are they
in
worse than your
turnovers per
connection?
game in the country. Oh, crap. I lost you guys. Gah!
And he's gone.
I thought that was me again. We were so close.
God, every time we have a connection issue, it adds like 10 minutes to my fucking work at the end.
Okay.
Marty, did you finish your thought on the women? Because
Got me?
it will, your local
I
recording
stopped
will have
once
kept it going. Oh,
Oh, crap. Then it heard me say, crap, I lost you. Okay, well,
no, that's okay. No, hold on.
can I finish it?
Yes.
Okay, so they are Gonzaga's 280th in the country in turnovers. Well, San Francisco's 323rd. So there should be a lot of turnovers in this game. But it should be a tough one. It should be a close one. And then they turn around and play the Toreros.
What do you want to bet? There are like 7 total turnovers in that game.
Yeah,
Somehow they're
I'm
like
not gonna
they're
bet
like
that.
two magnets. Like somehow they're both so bad they'll both be good. I don't know. Opposite kind of opposite.
Well,
thing.
Gonzaga's also not. The women have not been good at turning teams over. So it's like movable object means stoppable. Big stoppable force. Like Don's turning over a ton, but
It's
the
not
women,
two
the
strong
women,
winds. It's two like just gentle breezes.
Mhm.
they're one of the
flowing in the
worst
night.
at steals in the nation. They're not turning teams over. God damn it! All right. Anyway, the Toreros are 1-5, which is bad. 7-12 overall. Their best win is actually against Pepperdine, who is 159th in net. They don't do anything well, and they do a lot of things
impressive.
really, really badly. They rebound not terribly, but they are 306th in shooting 3-pointers. The Toreros are not good. The women should coast in that game. So 2 games on the docket. Hopefully they win them both, and they continue on towards a showdown with Oregon State.
Yeah, let's put down a couple of wins, ladies. Let's do it.
That would be nice.
Sure would.
Well, for 2 games for the Gonzaga women, of course, and 2 games for the Gonzaga men who don't have to travel quite so far as the women do. The women are staying at home, aren't they? They're both playing at home. So they definitely traveling way further than what the women are doing. But we're only staying in state anyway. Gonzaga, of course, traveling to Wazoo and then to Seattle to take on Seattle U. The Seattle game being played in Climate Pledge, right, Mark?
That's right.
Right.
And you're not going?
I'm not, but my wife and my son are going, and they got awesome seats. I'm very
Fantastic.
jealous.
Where the hell are you going to be?
I'm going to be in Boston, taking Jane to see
Oh,
some
you're taking the kid to the
colleges.
school.
We're going to see
You
5
playing that
different
poorly.
schools. Well, I wanted to show her Boston when it was really cold, so she would know what she was up for if she's going to school over there. And this was the time to do it because there's a 3-day weekend, and I tacked a personal day on a couple of days on the front end of it, so we're going to be there for 5 days or 4 full days.
You
It'll
can
be
see
fun.
the Old North Church covered in snow, probably.
I will definitely see the Old North Church.
Let's talk about Wazoo. Gonzaga
Yeah.
playing Wazoo. Gonzaga playing Wazoo. Is it Thursday?
The Cougs Thursday. Thursday at what is game time on this? I don't know.
Yeah, Thursday.
10 p.m.
Who
Eastern,
cares?
so 7 p.m.
Yeah, 7 p.m. I'm sorry, I thought you said it what it's called. 7 p.m. Pacific time, whatever the hell they call their stadium in or
Beasley.
arena in
It's the Beasley
Pullman.
Coliseum.
Yeah, nobody knows
Still.
that. You could have made up any name. I would have believed you. Let's talk a little bit about Wazoo. We have yet to play them. They are, what's a gentle way to say this? Poor. They're 8-10 overall. They're 3-2 in conference play. Their best win is number 128 in KenPom, St. Thomas. It's not.
Not St. Thomas, St.
ideal.
Roy,
No, not that
the
one. Not
Tropical Island?
St. Kitts. Not St. Nevis.
not St. Bart's.
No, just a small school. They lost their opening game at home to number 204 ranked.
Mm.
No, not good.
In fairness, the rest are mostly defensible. They did play St. Mary's well on Saturday, lost by 6, although that was, a 12-point game
late
at half,
surge.
and it's not like,
Yeah.
that was not Wazoo really being in the game. It was never really closer than 3 possessions, really. Let's talk a little bit about their metrics. At KenPom, they are 146th overall. They're 138th on offense, 168th on defense. Evan Mia, roughly the same, 153 overall, 139, 177, respectively. They got a good player that we'll touch on in a minute, but Mard, how do they play? What are they gonna try and do? Are they capable of doing it? I don't know.
They are good. They're good at rebounding. That's something that's worth noting. Maybe not on the
Good at
offensive end, but
defensive rebounding.
they clean up the defensive glass fifth in the country. They have improved their turnover problems of a year ago. If you remember,
They've improved.
last year they
that's
were
right.
338th in the country in turnovers. This year they're 269th. So good job, Cougars.
Hey,
guys.
that's like 70 spots, man.
Yeah, hey.
That's a lot.
They commit a lot of dead ball turnovers, which isn't the worst type of turnover if it's a dead ball turnover, but still a turnover. They're not a smart team, but they know
They're
what
not
love
as
is.
smart.
Yeah, and to make it better, they also don't turn the other team over. They're number 310 in turning the other team over at less than 15%, and they're 314th in steal percentage. Yeah,
They're a tremendously
enjoy-
average college basketball team.
I mean, they're joining us in the Pac-12, so they're
yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're
bring them on over.
no. We're joining
We're
them.
joining them.
Let's be fair. Let's be fair to the Cougs. They were there first.
They
for
came
some
over
reason.
to us, and now we're both
Oh.
going over.
They
if
picked
you-
us up in the WCC.
If you look,
and now
if you
we're-
look at Oregon State and Wazoo when they play at home, they have the Pac-12 and WCC symbols on their arena on their floors.
that's pretty
They are
weird.
still part of the Pac-12.
It'll be weird to see Pac-12 on Gonzaga's home floor.
That's going to
next
be
year.
the most bizarre thing.
Yeah.
It'll be wild.
Yeah. David Riley, their head coach, kind of does the defensive rebounding thing. They were good at that. Eastern was good at that when he was coaching there as well. They'll try and slow you down. They are number 302 in time of possession when the opponent has the ball. The problem is they're not good at stopping shots. They're 268th in opponent field goal 3-point percentage, third in 2-point percentage, and 306th in opponent free throw percentage. So
we'll see if that works.
here's to Gonzaga going 20 for 22 from the line.
Yeah,
in
no
this
way.
game.
Yeah, they don't take
let's
they
talk-
don't take a lot of 3-pointers. Like they're 255th in 3-pointers attempted or field goals attempted. So
They shoot well from 2. They're number 75 in the nation in 2, and that, like their coach David Riley, again, They were 6th in the country last year. At Eastern, he was 6th and 2nd in 2024 and 23, respectively, under his guidance. So they definitely shoot well from inside the arc. They just, turn the ball over a lot and don't stop the
They're
other
playing
team.
better lately.
Mhm. That's true.
Since the holiday, they are, since December 17th, finals is over, they are 5-2. I mean, the wins aren't impressive, but still 5-2, and they played St. Mary's pretty tough. So they're playing better than they were
Maybe
in the
they'll.
beginning of the year, which they were
That's fair.
terrible.
They're gonna really
That's
come
totally
after
fair.
us. They're gonna come after us hard.
That town is going to be cheering or going to be very active as a fan base. Students will be back, all that fun stuff. So I expect a fairly raucous atmosphere. Let's talk a little bit about the guy who sort of leads the line for Wazoo.
Hey! Yeah, Dan? You have any more of that gum? That's none of your damn business, and I'll thank you to stay out of my personal affairs. You're a weird guy, eh? Weird guy.
I thought that was a glass company. The first one you come up with in the back of the phone book.
Yeah,
Ace Glass.
Ace Glass.
It's when you get
For
your
all
windshield gets a crack.
windshield and window needs.
We won't charge you a deductible. Mar, tell us a little bit about Ace Glass, which
Aaron
yeah.
Ace Glass out of Rancho Cucamonga.
Ooh, he's a Cucamonga guy.
Yeah,
I
He's
thought
from
he was
the
Rialto.
Cucamonga.
guy. 6'4" guard. The story with him, he is originally a Buzz Williams recruit, but when Williams left for Maryland, he didn't take Glass with him. Little shot across the bow of old Ace's boat. So then Ace Glass came to Pullman, where he will certainly just play 1 year and then bolt for a decent bag at a Power 5 school next year. He scores 16 a game, three rebounds, 2 assists, 36% from beyond, so he can shoot it a bit. He is 94th in the country in percent in usage, so he dominates the ball. He will always be dribbling the ball, shooting the ball, passing the ball to someone who shoots it. He gets usage up the yin yang, right? He's good at drawing fouls, so he can put guys on the bench. 61% true shooting percentage. He's pretty good. He can explode. He had 40 points in a game this year against Arizona State. 24 against St. Mary's when they played. So
Which is tough to do. It's tough to get that much on St. Mary's.
His 24 against St. Mary's is good. So he'll be someone to keep an eye on for Schwab.
Without looking, do you have his 35.6% from three? Where would that rank on Gonzaga's 3-point shooting?
Well, I know for a fact that it would not be number 1.
That's correct.
And after that, let's see. I bet you it's in front of Miller. I think Miller's less than that. Not in front of Venters. So I'm going to say
Miller is not less than
are
that. You're incorrect.
really what?
Yeah.
Oh, are we counting Fogel? Because he's like 55%.
So, counting, I didn't count Fogel.
What?
Because
Why did you
Let's
count
not count
Fogel?
Fogel. Because come on.
Come on, count Fogel.
Okay, then I would have guessed third, and I
You'd
would
still
have
be
been
wrong,
wrong.
wrong.
I thought he was ahead.
wrong.
I thought Miller was below 35.
Wrong,
he's
wrong,
fourth. He's fourth best if you don't count Fogel. Fogel's taken 9 in the year. I'm sorry, I'm not counting that. Venters is where is he?
39.
At an even 40%. Miller's 36.6. Mario, despite
44.
his shooting woes of late, is still at 44.7%.
Feels like 34.
I have him at 34.7. Where are you guys getting this 36?
Who?
Ace Glass.
Are you?
Miller? Who are you talking
Oh,
about?
probably
Ace Glass.
because
On Ken
probably
Pom.
because Ken Pom doesn't count games against
Yeah, it's not D. It only counts D1.
against Chaminade. The game against Chaminade, he wouldn't count those stats.
Well, I have
He
him at,
probably-
yeah. So per
But
Ken
the-
Palm, he's actually like 6th. He would be 6th on Gonzaga.
Anyway, he's gonna shoot a lot of shots for Wazoo. I think that's
That's the greater point.
Yeah, it's true.
he's someone to watch. They also need to keep an eye on ND Okafor because he's a big fella, and he's good at blocking shots. He's 39th in the country in block percentage.
Okay.
Very much not a stretch big though. He will not move him. He's not going to stretch the floor. But seeing him against Ike will be interesting, as we know Ike struggles with. He's not like a 7-footer. He's 6'10", but he is good at blocking shots, and we'll see how that goes.
I think Graham's going to be fine. I think Graham is
They got size. I mean, they have a front. They have 4 guys over 6'8" to rotate through. Some transfers from Boise State, Texas Tech.
Yeah, but again, they're tremendously average and don't shoot the
Yeah,
ball particularly
tremendously
well
average.
and don't defend particularly well.
Yalaho does shoot over 41% from 3 on a not insignificant number. He's what, 3.5 per game, give or take. So they have a guy who can shoot from 3 and who can get hot from 3, and they have Glass who like we said, scored 40 against Arizona State.
You just got to keep them from
So
getting
it's-
hot. You can't have a slow start. You've got to go into that building and make them aware right away that we're the better team and not let them hang around and
they'll get
keep the
there.
crowd in it, and they get inspired and
Keep
they
the
hit
crowd out
threes.
of it.
And you've got to do that. You can't have a 10-minute. This is an LMU at home. Like, you can't do a 10-minute sleepwalk. You've got to go in there and take care of business early, or it's going to be tough. Like, these teams are going to be aggressive. They're going to want
Can I
to
be
beat
honest
us.
with you?
Yeah.
They absolutely can do that. It's not LMU. They're worse than LMU. they're not as good as LMU.
I don't
It's
know.
like
You
one
look at
that
these
can rally
guys who
30.
can shoot, and if you're lazy, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying anything can't happen.
Right.
Of course, something could happen.
Are they that much worse
Yeah.
than LMU? I guess they are.
No, they're not that much worse. They're a dozen spots or so in Kempom, but
Whatever.
they're not. I don't know, man. Like, yeah, Wazoo, like playing in Pullman could be a thing, and doing the whole thing could be a thing, and all that.
I mean,
There's nothing about them other than Ace Glass dropping 50. There's nothing that scares me.
okay.
And honest
It's
to God,
weird.
he could drop 50, and they could have 65 points.
Yeah.
Like,
Remember Thomas Thraster's
All
thing
right.
from last year?
All right.
yeah, they don't worry me, which is not to say that weird shit can't happen. And we've obviously shown in our first 4 games that we are comfortable doing weird shit. Not first 4, sorry, Pepperdine game was a blow. The last 4 games that we're pretty comfortable doing some weird things for a while. I think this game goes almost exactly the way of LMU. Maybe not quite a 35-point win, but maybe that's just me. Mar, do you agree? You seem skeptical.
Okay.
He was so skeptical he
He
completely logged out
bailed.
and disappeared.
All right.
He
Well,
really didn't like my thing.
I guess not.
Wasn't he supposed to have like fixed his internet?
I don't know what the fuck's going on, man. This is not great. So at 55 minutes, at 12 minutes, he's gone. At 55 minutes, he's gone.
Flowers. Why am I flowers?
39:30, he's gone.
Show the flowers.
Logan Mart. Problem is, when I do this to YouTube, like I don't edit the video. The video, I just go boop, and out it goes.
So they could be having this on here.
Yeah, we can talk. Hey, I mean, I think only like 4 people watched the video. It's pretty low.
And I might be one of them, which is funny that I asked the question earlier because I was like, I've seen it and I just don't remember.
Yeah. So hey, YouTube, how you doing out there? I don't.
I got flowers.
I mean, people, it gets views. They don't listen very long. Certainly not the 56 minutes in. But if you are out there, YouTubers,
there we go.
hello.
I'm gonna do that, and you can see my knives and my flowers.
Knives and flowers. You can see. Well, let's do tours of our spaces. I have.
No,
This
we
is the
shouldn't do
garage, and there's a lot of shit in here, folks. So much stuff.
Mm.
I've got the classic Peloton that barely gets used anymore. That's a classic thing to have in your suburban.
You can send it my
garage.
way if you want.
You want it?
Kinda.
Well, if I road trip up there, I'll bring it. No, I
Do it.
won't. How am I going to do that? How am I
No.
going to bring that up here?
What a stupid sentence
I
you
know.
just said.
Insane. It's crazy. Like, I got tools.
I mean, you could take it apart.
I got tools and games, and
You got an Explorer
I got an Expedition. I got bigger.
Expedition. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
I have a red
I forgot.
chair that I got for free from a neighbor. It's very
used to be a
comfortable,
couch
but
in
it's very ugly.
There used to be a couch in there. I remember.
Yeah, it used to
sat
be a
on it.
futon, one of them
Yeah.
IKEA jobs, but I decided it took up too much space, and I wanted to be able to move things around because I have hangs out here.
Also, there's something about sitting in a chair.
Yeah, agreed. And then, like, if
which
you have like
Jenna will
hangs,
not
like
let me get. By the
you
way,
have like 3 guys over, and we're like trying to play Mario Tennis, and like it's rough to like sit next to another grown man on a futon.
fair enough.
I mean, if it was Marty, that's fine. He can sit on my lap, but anybody else, It's better to have a separate chair.
Is that a tennis racket in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Is that a classic N64 controller in your pocket? Or are you just happy to see me? Hi, Mark. We were having a discussion for the benefit of YouTube because I'm not going to edit the video. So welcome back.
Who knows what they're going to pull. So
yeah,
we thought we had good internet, and it had worked for several weeks, like 3 or 4 episodes. It was working smooth, and now it's back to its old.
Now you're
ways.
back in the bedroom.
Back in the guest bedroom where I have.
we're gonna have to find a way to get you like a Bruce record album just to go right above the headboard
right there.
just as a fail safe.
I don't know.
All right. Well, should we?
This thing is.
Where were we before we go back in for the audio only folks?
Were we gonna?
No idea.
Right. We were gonna move into Seattle U, huh?
I mean, we hadn't talked about it, but yeah, sure.
Okay, so
I think Adam, I said that Mard, you seem skeptical. You can maybe just cut that part. I don't know how far into the weeds you're going to listen.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do a transition then.
I feel pretty comfortable. We're going to beat the shit out of Wazoo. I don't think they're very good. So let's talk about a team we didn't beat the shit out of. In fact, one we barely beat at all. In Seattle. What are they now? Not the
Redhawks.
What are they? Are they the Redhawks?
They're the
Okay.
Redhawks. Come on.
I
They've
got worried
been the
that they
Redhawks
were
for a while. They're
something.
proud
I
Redhawks.
Give a shit? Like what? I don't care. By the way,
they're not doing well in the WCC. By the way,
Seattle appears to have. I won't say the phrase that wants to jump out at me because we have children who listen to this, but they seem like they went all out against us and have nothing left in the tank, if you understand what I'm saying, because they took us to overtime and then they lost to St. Mary's. In the game, they were close for a little while in the next game and then weren't. And then they lost by 13 to.
Ooh.
That's not good.
5 points in that game.
That's
total
a
points. Total points
It's
in all
really
of them.
bad.
It's bad.
So here's the thing.
It's bad.
I was torn on this because my first reaction was, I don't care if it's your third game on the road in 8 days, in 6 days. You shouldn't ever lose to this Oregon State team by double digits. And then at the same time, I'm like, it is the third game in 6 days on the road, and the first 2 were Gonzaga St. Mary's. Like, that is not nothing. You can't dismiss that. So, Mard, which side of it are you on?
I'm on the first side. Oregon State's bad. And I know
You should never lose that
supposed to
game.
be hard to win. It's supposedly hard to win in Corvallis, but come on, not to this team. This Oregon State team doesn't do hardly anything well, and they couldn't. I mean, they're definitely not a good. Oregon
they
State's
defend
one
a
of the
little bit. They're top 50 defense.
Oregon
sorry,
State?
That's Seattle. I'm looking at the wrong. Sorry.
That's
Seattle.
Here's what's really
Sorry.
Oregon State's one of the worst defensive teams in the country, and Seattle you couldn't muster 55
points.
They scored 55.
Well, so
Come
but
on.
here's what made me think that maybe that it mattered that it was the third game in 6 days, because if you look at I'm totally scouting the box score here. They were 6 of 26 from 3. They were 13 of 24 from the line, which kind of tells me they had tired legs. June played 34 minutes. He was 0 of 6 from 3.
Yikes.
Malik Arrington played 34 minutes. He actually shot 0 of 5 or 1 of 5 from the floor. And Will Heimbrodt played.
He's not a good shooter.
Minutes.
He's not a good shooter anyway. Malik.
Yeah, 2 of 13 from the floor. So you're talking about like a bunch of
Maldonado
was
shot
5 of 12,
but then he fouled out.
Not really. Like he was not really. He was 5 of 12. Like that's not good.
Well,
so it's just I don't know. Maybe they were just tired.
54%.
Like genuinely, I know they're young kids, but you're still talking about 3 really 2 difficult road games and Oregon State in a 6-day span. That's a lot of travel and it's a lot of crap. But man, that is it. When you're 1-4 in the WCC. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's too bad because they looked really good against us. That defense was stifling.
They sure did. Well, let's do this since
and they
we
did that
haven't.
Despite Oregon State's best player Josiah Lake, he had a really off game, and they still handled him.
Like got beat comfortably. Well, let's do this since we didn't do this the first time we met Seattle. Let's give a little tale, shall we?
Coming into the game, Gonzaga is ranked 8th in Ken Palm, 5th in the net, scoring 91.4 points per game, 13th best in the country.
Very nice. The Seattle University Red Hawks. Ken Palm 122, net 119, scoring 76.9 points per game, 208th in the nation.
70.7 possessions a game for Gonzaga. It's 55th best tempo. Or highest.
Seattle U keeping it average at a medium pace, 68.8, 142nd in the nation.
Gonzaga's 24th best two-point shooting team at 59.5.
Seattle U bringing up, bottom third here, 206th in the nation, 50.9%.
Gonzaga's the 38th best three-point shooting team in the nation, 36.9.
That's coming up. The Red Hawks, 34.
Gonzaga's up to 70% from the charity stripe, 248th best.
It's pretty bad. But you know what's worse is 69.5%, which is what the Red Hawks are shooting. That's 264th in the country.
Gonzaga's 6th best offensive efficiency, 125.3.
Oh, that's good. Seattle U at 104.9, which is 246th in the NCAA Division I.
On defense, Gonzaga gives it 95.1 per 100. That's 12th in the country.
Seattle U giving up 100.7 points per 100 possessions. That's 47th in the nation, top 50.
Let's go to turnover, shall we? Gonzaga is at 10.6 a game. That's 14.3%. 31st in the land.
The Seattle U Red Hawks, 11.7, 16.9% of their possessions, and that's 159th.
And Gonzaga's offensive rebounding statistics, 36.5% of the time we get the ball back. That's 38th best in the realm.
And Seattle at 26.8, 304th, which is quite a bit lower than 38th.
They did pretty well offensive rebounding against us last time, though.
Sure did. That was one of those fluky things that you sort of watching that go, wait, how is this happening?
Yeah,
again?
let's avoid some of these silly fluky things. Like I don't know, man. They have a week
Like
off before they
the
face
June 3-pointer. Oh my god.
Yeah, so ridiculous.
Oh, God.
They play Thursday against San Diego after a week off, and then they're at home, so they don't have to travel. I don't know. We'll see. They'll be rested. They won't be tired like they were against Oregon State.
They do seem, if you look at some of their wins in their games, they do seem to play a lot better at home. Seattle does. There's something to be said for that, except playing them at home. We're playing them in the Climate Pledge, which is not exactly a friendly place for Gonzaga historically.
No.
But,
And they played their other games. They beat Washington there. They beat Washington State there. So it's not like it's San Francisco.
they're not used to playing there.
They play there frequently.
Yeah.
Let's do this then, Adam. On a scale of 1 to 10, are you nervous we'll have a similar type of game against them?
No.
1 being not nervous, 10 being scared to death.
2.5.
Yeah. Usually when Gonzaga struggles against a team, the second time, they kick their ass.
Yeah.
A little nervous about Braden Maldonado having a really good game. He had 17 and 5 against us last time, but he really wasn't that impactful. It was just quiet, 17 and 5. I thought they were making nuts shots, and he really wasn't. And it was their defense that really stifled us in that game, not really their offense. We had played good defense throughout the game against them. But I'm a little worried about Maldonado going off, but not that worried. I'm not worried about June hitting another 3 threes like he did against us. I'm not worried about John Christopoulos hitting 4 threes against us. No. It's his best game in 2 years. I'm not worried about him doing that again.
Is
So
that
I'm
Chris
kind of
Christopoulos' son?
I'm more with Adam on that one. Who's going to be better is Will Heimbro. Heimbro is one of their best players, and he was pretty shit against us. He was pretty horrid. But
You mean 4 of 19 is not bad?
I've heard it's bad. It's bad. Okay. So he'll be better. There's like almost no doubt that you
hard
have
not
to be better.
not to be.
And the
When
other
you're
thing,
as high
the
as
weird
you
one was
succeeded.
Austin Maurer, their big 7-footer. He played 10 minutes against us. He was a total non-factor, which is odd.
Which just makes you look at it and go, how the hell did we not blow them out?
Well, their defense was. I mean, they were just playing really good team defense.
Yeah.
Huron Dan played a good game against us. Their backup center.
Mm-hmm. He did.
He had a really annoying 7 points and 8 rebounds against us the first time around. He played well. I just remember thinking that their rotations were perfect and they were doubling aggressively, but also we're not opening the passing lanes to pass to the open shooters. Part of that was with Gonzaga was not rotating to open spots, right? They were not like drifting to make themselves available to the passing big who's getting triple teamed or double teamed.
Yeah.
There's guys who were just standing on the perimeter like their feet were in cement.
I mean, and we had, they were really good. Yeah. I was looking at this, let's see, Steele, Venters, and Mario Saint Superi in that game.
Venters had
combined
a
for
0 rating.
0 points. So bad.
That's not ideal.
How does Venters have a 0 offensive rating? I guess
That was his worst game of the year.
By missing all your
for
shots.
4,
That's how.
1 rebound, 1 turnover.
Yeah.
So bad.
It's interesting. Like there are a couple of things like if you look back at that Seattle game that are fairly interesting too. And part of it is, to your point earlier, Martin, we were really good defense. We had 9 blocks. We had 11 steals. We just had 1.06 points per possession, which is generally way below what we normally score.
Yeah.
Huff had 28, and we kind of rode him, and he kind of has been fairly, I won't say ineffective, but sort of non-impactful the rest since then.
A bit muted.
In part because EK, muted is a good way to put it. In part because EK had a couple of really high-end games. This was a game that EK didn't start after the technical against San Diego.
Yeah.
So there's, he played 36 minutes. So I don't want to overstate that, but yeah.
It was such a weird game. They had 4 players who played heavy minutes. 4 of them scored 0. Who played 15 or more minutes. And then Adam Miller scored 2.
Gonzaga guys, you mean?
Yeah, Gonzaga. Like that just shows you how weird of a game it was. They were getting.
God, I didn't even realize that.
They were getting
Steele, Jalen, Innocente, and Mario had 0
and
points.
Adam Miller had 2. They were getting
God
nothing,
damn.
essentially nothing offensively from so many guys. That's not going to happen again. Even if Huff and Graham don't combine for 52, which they probably won't, and they're going to get more out of Steele. And Jalen's going to score 2 or 3 points, right? Braden Smith is going to Braden Smith was the guy who helped a bit.
Smith was pretty clutch.
Mario is going to be better. He's not going to score 0 again.
No,
Miller's going to be. Yeah.
I like Mario to have a comeback game in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect the combination of Steele, Jalen, and Innocente to score between 12 and 15. And if you do that, you're winning by 15 points. I think that's not even saying anything about Mario or Adam.
No. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, like I said, 2.5 nervous. Yeah.
And this will be, this will be go into my resume section. This will be an away game, counts as an away game. This will be a quad 2 game.
It's great.
No.
Let's get it.
And well, does it count as an away game?
Yeah, it's counting as an away game, like the San Francisco game will. And Seattle U is squarely in that quad 2, 76 to 135. So they're like at 118 or something. So as long as they don't keep tanking, they should stay. That should stay a quad 2 game.
We didn't do a resume watch this time around, and we'll just touch on this really, really fast. The teams on the Power Conference teams on Gonzaga's resume, 5-13 since the last time.
It is. They're terrible. The only one playing well is Creighton.
Yeah, we of all things, and they needed overtime to beat Georgetown tonight. We're recording on Tuesday. It was one of those like, oh, all of a sudden we're dropping in net, and then we're like, yeah, we're dropping in net because all the teams we beat sucked.
Yeah,
I know it's
brutal.
It's bad.
What a brutal.
You see,
Alabama went 0-2.
Yeah,
and Tuesday night Oregon lost by 35. They are terrible. They're 8-9, and we thought Oregon was like a top 20 team. We, as in the basketball nation.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect them to be this.
They are so bad. Come on.
Dana Allman has to be on the hot seat, right?
Yeah,
I would think. You can't have a season like this.
If they give a shit about basketball.
Yeah.
They lost to Rutgers?
Hey. We don't need
I keyed. No, I don't keyed. They lost to Rutgers.
Yeah,
But it really doesn't matter.
Rutgers is lower on Ken Palm than Seattle and Wazoo and LMU. You know what, Mard? You talked about this offline. This is exactly that Rutgers game is exactly the type of thing. Losing in New Jersey in overtime is going to be looked at as a much better loss than if Gonzaga were to have lost to LMU or Santa Clara or any of those from the WCC bias.
Yeah, there's that stigma, that stank.
But the good news for Oregon, Saturday you get to host Michigan, so that's going to go well.
You know they're only a 12.5-point dog in that game.
What?
I would hammer that line.
I gotta make
It's
a little
easy
note.
money.
Ken Palm has that as 16. So if you can find that now,
I saw it at 12.5.
Go ahead and take that. Go ahead and take that. Let's finish with a little fun. We're done with these people.
Are we done?
We're done with those people.
We're done. That means I should find the shenanigans drop.
Our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
If you want, you don't have
shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Hey, Farva, what's the name of that restaurant you like with all the goofy shit on the walls and the mozzarella sticks? You mean
Shenanigans?
Shenanigans,
Sometimes
right?
you gotta picture the movie while it's happening, and when you haven't.
Giggle out of it.
I can't believe they got Cox to be in that movie. What a ridiculous. The guy who like just shits on other movies all the time for being inferior from after being in Succession, and
he's so good in everything he's in.
He is great.
It's so great. Anyway, so wanted to do a little bit of a weird one here because we were thinking about what things make a loss feel worse. And I want to give the example. So sort of like things that happen during games that make losses feel something more than just a loss because like they were self-inflicted or it's extra painful. And we don't mean like, you lost to a rival, like losing to St. Mary's feels worse than losing to Santa Clara or whatever. The thing that's like feels self-inflicted. The example that we gave was like missing free throws in a close game feels worse than just like, we lost by 12 points because the other team was a little bit better or whatever. So it's kind of the example. You'll sort of get it as we go along. So Mard, why don't you kick us off and we'll kind of run through it.
Well, I had that one. It is really bad to lose because you can't hit free throws. They're free
throws.
And it's especially when you have good shooters on your team. Like Gonzaga has, their top 40 3-point shooting team. They are good at putting the ball in the basket. And then when there's no one guarding them, they should really, they can take a deep breath. They should really be good at putting the ball in the basket. But yet, they're like one of the worst teams. So now we haven't lost games because of free throws this season, but we have lost games like last season, the season before that, maybe, I can't remember. I seem to remember there were some games where we really tanked down the stretch. That West Virginia game, I think, was one last year. And man, they just miss losing games because you can't take advantage of free throws. It's so frustrating. So that was on my list.
There you go. Adam, what's on your list?
I don't like taking losses because of things like just sound like bad luck rebounds are very frustrating. Like a long rebound that just like bounces off, like that horrible shot. Like I feel like it happens against St. Mary's all the goddamn time. But like some brick will like bounce off, and like our guy's in a great position with a good box out, but the rebound comes off weird because the shot was so bad and it lands right in the hands of the opposing player.
Like an airball shot,
and then it
falls right into
the
guy,
stuff like that,
and the guy just lays it in.
Ends up being
and those things always seem like they compound on one another. Whenever you get a loss like that, where it's just like the gods were against you that game, like that kind of stuff. That drives me nuts.
Not really self-inflicted, but I'll take it. I like it. I like what you're doing there.
Well, they must have done something to anger the gods.
I went with on my number whatever this is. My next one is, as a baseball fan, walking batters, particularly in like the 9th inning or extra innings.
Man.
And like you have your closer and he comes in and he like walks the leadoff guy.
I hate
and
that
just
so
like,
much.
God damn it.
You can't do that.
No.
What about when you bring in your lefty who's only on the team to get left-hand
loogie.
hitters out.
The loogie.
And you bring him in the bottom of the 8th or the top of the 8th, and he's only going to face that left-handed hitter or the 2 left-handed hitters, and he can't get him out. You're like, you have one job. Why are you walking him? Why did you give up that single?
You're
just
literally, if you don't know what a loogie is, the lefty 1-out guy. That's literally what it means.
I
I
never heard that.
There you go.
I never heard that.
Are you
either.
serious?
Seattle,
the
Mariners had the
it's
worst lefty out of the bullpen. Craig Ferguson, they got at the deadline.
Ferguson.
He was great on the Late Late Show, though.
He was so bad. They got him out of Pittsburgh, and he had one job, and he couldn't do it the entire rest of the year.
The loogie's kind of dead now that
they
they
couldn't
made it
put
so
him in
that
the game.
Relievers have to do three batters. But yeah, the guy whose whole sole job is to get the lefty. I think that's a great pull. But yeah, walking batters, especially in tight games late on. Yeah, crazy.
I'll go into my baseball one since you went baseball.
Do
I
it.
hate losing games because down the stretch you can't get the run in from third when there's less than 2 out. I hate it so much. It's the most frustrating thing. And every team, every fan, all the fans of every team, they think their team's the worst at it. But I swear my team is the worst at it. The guys get on third base and there's nobody out, or there's 1 out, or there's bases loaded and nobody out. I hate seeing bases loaded and nobody out. I know we're gonna fail. I know it's not gonna happen. But like when you lose a game by 1. And you had 3, your runners batting average with runners in scoring position and less than 2 outs was like, like 1 of 8 or something. It's like, should have won this game.
Should have won that game.
Yeah, that's frustrating. Adam?
I'm pretty sure I'm stealing this one from Marty, but I'm going to the football. And I'm definitely stealing this from Marty, but I'm jumping in on kickers. Yeah.
I hate kickers.
And this is very relevant to this last weekend. Missed field goals and missed extra points.
I hate
to miss. Not only does it, like, when you look at the end of the game and you're like, good, we got into overtime because we missed a field goal or we missed an extra point. And then because of that, it throws off the whole game. It doesn't just throw off just that point. Like, you have to then game plan differently on each drive. Like, it just compounds. Like that missed field goal or that missed extra point. Just like
McManus.
Yeah. What the hell?
We see the kicker for the Packers, right?
Yeah.
They lost that game
He
because
yeah, that guy may never work again.
Field goal, and he missed.
I mean, maybe it's a car dealership.
The PAT. If he makes that PAT, the whole game is different.
So totally different.
I hate kickers so much. Hate them. They should take kicking out of the game. I hate it.
I love it.
Be kind of hard.
I love it.
Well,
I love it. I love that.
Call it.
But I hate when
my team kind of hard. It would be kind of hard.
To call it football.
Call it football. It would be kind of difficult.
Don't call it football. Call it something else.
Like let's. You know what? We should remove the basket. What are we going to call it?
Bucket
okay,
ball.
I'm going to stay in football. I'm going to stay in football and do one that I know is near and dear to your hearts, and that is false starts. Because I remember Giants in Seattle. I don't know, was that 10, 12 years ago now?
No, 2005,
like
20 years ago.
No,
yes, it was. It was our Super Bowl. It was the Super Bowl year. The first time they made the Super Bowl. It was 2005.
20 years ago?
It was 20 years ago.
Christ. But it went a long way to developing the reputation for the 12th man in Seattle. And the Giants had, I think...
I caused some of those false starts that day.
Yeah, sure you did.
I did. I caused some of them.
I think it was like 8 false starts
11.
or something.
It was 11.
11. I was going to say 12, and I was like, no, that's way too high. It turns out it wasn't way too high. God, I blacked that out from my memory.
11.
Artificially inflated Seattle's ability to cause false starts against other teams.
Yes,
and before you tell me they did, it was all on Luke Pettigrew. All the false starts were on Luke Pettigrew, the left tackle for the Giants. Anyway, that is one of those you hear if you like listen to football stuff enough. You hear people say like that's the mental one because that's like concentration and you're getting tired and you're late and you know you're going to hard count because you're going to try and get people to jump offside. But and I suppose I could have gone with Marty's favorite thing in the world, which is when people line up to pretend like they're going to go for it on 4th down and they never do. But like once every season somebody jumps offside and like this is why they do it, and that idiot should get cut immediately. But the false starts drive me absolutely bonkers, and that feels super, super self-inflicted, and I hate them. Anyway, go ahead, Mard. What's next on your list?
It's penalties in football. Years of watching Pete Carroll teams have conditioned me to accept penalties, but when the Seahawks would lose because of like bonehead penalties, it always hurt worse than usual losses. Like, for example, you win a game, you would have won the game with the defensive stop, but a boneheaded defensive hold that's on the other side of the field that doesn't even impact the play happens, and all of a sudden it's first down for the team and they go on to win. Like that kind of stuff. Or on the flip side, your offensive lineman holds on the other side of the play, doesn't make a difference between the success of the play or not, and it's successful no matter what the guy did, and he decides to hold and he gets called and he's like, I hate it so much. And Pete Carroll's teams are always like the most penalized teams in the league. So Seattle, when he coached Seattle, they were always the most penalized team. So we were just going into games knowing there's going to be 10 penalties on our team. It's been different with Mike McDonald. They don't get as many penalties under Mike McDonald, which is nice.
Yeah, it turns out he's a really good coach.
They get very few actually. But oh man, yeah, Pete Carroll.
Okay, I got one more.
Do it.
My
I
turn.
also have one more.
Okay, I play a lot of pickup basketball, as I've said on this pod before. And the most frustrating thing, self-inflicted, dumb shit move ever, because you're playing pickup, right? So, you might be on one guy's team one game, and then he's on against you on one team, and everyone's wearing, just their regular clothes. No one's got, we don't put pennies on or anything.
Pennies.
And nothing's worse than when you're playing point and you get a rebound or you turn around and there's a guy standing there that is in a good place for an offensive player to be, and you just throw the ball to the other team because you think
and you probably played with a guy the last game.
Exactly. Like you play with him before, you play with him tons. You're just like, oh, you just hit him, and then they just turn around and go the other way, and you're like, son of a bitch.
And everyone laughs at you fool.
Yeah, everyone gives you a hard time, but also everyone's done it because just of the circumstances. So everyone understands, but still, nothing's more frustrating than you do it like that and lose a game.
Adam, what would
by a
happen
couple
if you
points.
came to the next pickup with a box full of pennies?
I said, all right, guys.
Would people wear them, or
You
would
gotta
they
put those
laugh
on.
you off the court?
They would laugh me off the court.
No
one's
pennies
putting-
allowed.
No one's putting those on.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I like that. I got two more. One, as a soccer junkie, and it's relatively straightforward, missing a penalty kick. It's I know it happens. Like, so they have these stats they have it in like hockey as well as soccer, but it's especially big in soccer. And it's called expected goals and whatever. You can argue about metrics and all this other shit. The general idea is that when someone takes a shot, historically speaking, how likely is it to result in a goal? So you would think a penalty kick is like a guaranteed goal, but it's around 0.76, which means like roughly 3/4 of penalty kicks go in. Seems like it should be higher, but that's about what it is. Somewhere between 75 and 80% go in. Missing that in a game where like you end up tying or losing feels awful.
Yeah.
And especially, God forbid, if you go into like a shootout at the end of a game where it goes into overtime or extra time, and they call it in soccer, and then ends up going to PKs. And like sometimes you go into PKs and you have like a 12-round PK where like 11, it ends up being like 11-10, and basically everybody scores. And then sometimes you have like a 5-round PK, which is basically the minimum, and like 3 people miss when you like, especially if it's one thing if it's saved, even if it's like a poorly taken,
Right.
like if it's on goal, at least you made the goalie make a save. When you miss entirely or when you sky it over, everything about that feels awful.
Oh, that's probably the worst because
It is the
goalkeeper
worst.
didn't do anything.
Correct. Goalkeeper didn't do anything. It's bad. Anyway, missing PKs feels bad. Marty, anything else on your list?
I do have one more. So in curling, when your side makes routine things just look really hard, like sometimes watching the U.S., it's like they can't execute clean ends. For example, their broom work. Like when the curlers can't finish the stroke so that you see your side called for dumping violations, it's infuriating. Like when you see your side with terrible technique, they're dumping, they like walking backwards, crossing their legs. That's no, actually, that's not the worst. The worst thing is burning. Once I saw the U.S. team burn the rock 3 times in one bonspiel, I mean, total Bush League. They were down 1 heading into the final end. And in that end, in the final delivery, they put the rock right on the button. Right on the button. The replay showed they burned the rock before the far hog line. So, of course, the rock is burned. If it's burned before the far hog line, stone is removed. Button remained open, lost the game. Finished second in the bonspiel because of it. Never get over that. It's the basics. You don't agree?
I don't know what you just said.
I'm just what I'm glad is that somebody finally was able to express what I've been trying to say for years, and you did it exactly.
I learned a lot about curling when I looked all that shit up.
Great.
That's gonna do
By
it
the way,
for
that
us.
story didn't happen. I just made it up, but I didn't. All those terms are real.
We will talk to you.
They call her Sweet Miss Georgia Brown.
We'll talk to you next week. We are on patreon.com/FreeHourBrown. We're on Twitter and Instagram. I'm sorry, Twitter and Blue Sky at FreeHourBrown. Instagram, YouTube, FreeHourBrown Pod. We will talk to you next week after Gonzaga 100, Wazoo 62.
Alihu Zerher.
Go enter yourselves in a bonspiel.
Yeah, I would love to be in a bonspiel.
My last one, which I'm glad we didn't get to because there was no way it would be a good follow-up to that, was when you're watching hockey and like the Rangers are experts at this, they would not somehow, like they're getting penned in by like the forecheck and can't get the puck. And for some reason they get like 1 or 2 different chances to clear the puck and they just can't get the fucking puck out of the zone. And they end up like turning it over, or they have it and they whiff on it or whatever. And they end up giving up a goal or getting a penalty called because their guys